Hola, hi Capricorns. Welcome to the Capricorn Occult Birthday Party, where we celebrate the lesser known, the hidden, the shadow aspect of the beautiful sea goat. And I am thinking and planning on celebrating each and every birthday, each and every house of the zodiac this year on Tantric Traveler with a little shadowy birthday party, a little dark side of every sign. And Capricorn, you get to be first because, well, it's January, so in the Western calendar and the Gregorian calendar, January is considered to be the first month, although in the zodiac, in the Western zodiac, January coincides with the house of Capricorn, and just the end of December does as well. From the solstice onwards, we're in the house of Capricorn up until about the 20th of January, and it is the 10th house. So, yes, it coincides with the 1 and the 10, which is both the beginning and the end of a lesson, a cycle of karmic completion. And specifically the 10, which is signified by the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot, is something that I like to focus on when I'm in Capricorn season and as a solar Capricorn, just to remind myself that the end of a cycle can be the most challenging because it's where our souls are really aligning with the truth that we have been uncovering on the last leg of our journey, and our souls are really pulling it in and making it a part of this lifetime or this lifeline here on earth. And the Ten of Swords in the tarot kind of shows somebody who has swords stuck in them, and they look like they're down for the count at least, and they could be down for good. But if you're feeling that way at this time of year, I just want to remind you that 10 signifies the end of a karmically challenging or soul challenging cycle of learning for us. And then it skips right back through the 11 to the 1 again. So in the tarot, this is really good news to be reminded of, and it also really encapsulates what the occult side of Capricorn is all about. And I know that Capricorns, if you look in kind of the surface horoscope and zodiac, Capricorn is often attributed with the traits of, worldly ambition and worldly attachment, and sometimes addiction and fixation and interest in money and sex. And it sounds very negative and almost satanic in nature. And in fact, the card of the devil in the tarot is also ruled by Capricorn. And when people see the devil, they get freaked out because clearly the devil has been demonized in in our way of thinking and our spiritual systems. And the thing is, the devil is one side of the coin of human nature, and if the other is angelic, those are two extremes that human nature is constantly flowing and shifting in between. And we're in a constant state of spiritual choice, and we are in a constant state of either exercising our sovereignty or permitting our sovereignty or our sobriety, if you will. Sovereignty, the words sobriety and sovereignty are pretty much one and the same linguistically. And so we're either exercising our sovereignty or we are giving it away or leaving it up for grabs. And that is where the devil comes in, because the devil is about not exercising the greatest gift that we have as human beings. And that is sovereignty. That is divine universal sovereignty. And here on earth, we have a beautiful playground in which to experiment with what it's like to live with and without sovereignty, both individually and collectively. And it is a very good thing, because when we choose to incarnate here on earth, we are choosing to challenge ourselves as souls to progress and expand through the experience, through the trials of life on earth. It's no joke. It's a very beautiful place. It's, the place that we are gifted with the whole scope and the whole spectrum of sensory experience, pleasure and pain and gain and loss. And this is, something that it's a learn as you go experience. So when we meet these lessons and these challenges in the number 1 phase, and we think, or even in the 0 phase, and we think we're looking ahead at our journey or our life through the fool's eyes, we think, okay, well, we can carry this innocence with us forever. And that our innocence can be renewed, but innocence is the gift of the beginner, because if we knew the challenges that were ahead, we may just stay home. We may just lie down in bed and stare at the ceiling for 60, 70 years, But the fool wants to take that small parcel, that small package, that gift of the divine, of the heart's innocence and the mind's innocence and the body's freedom, and to take that and nothing but that to begin a journey. And that journey can be traveled and completed or accomplished, and then we begin all over again many, many times in this lifetime. So whenever you see the 10 of Swords or the 10 of Wands or even the 10 of Cups, and you think, wow, this is great, or wow, I'm completely fucked. With all these swords stuck in me, when is this cycle going to end? That means it's just about to end. And you can take the knowledge and the learning and the teaching even that you have accomplished in the last cycle and use it to your best advantage as you step back into a position of innocence, about to embark upon another journey which you've never ever experienced before. So as the crows fly overhead, as they always do when I'm reading, I wish you the best of luck. And talking a little bit more and thinking a little bit more about Capricorn and who we are, whether it's your solar sign, your lunar sign, your rising, could be your Venus or your Mars even, or another planet. You can look at how that planet resonates if it lies for you in the house of Capricorn at the time of your birth. But Capricorn, the Sabian symbol of Capricorn, looks like a mermaid with a goat's body, forebody, or a goat with a mermaid's tail, or a fish tail. And this is really showing that Capricorn has journeyed through many cycles of the soul and has learned to really be in a parallel frequency position, to stabilize in a parallel frequency position. And whether that's, the frequency of 2 different languages, 2 different cultures, sometimes living in 2 different places, or always kind of feeling like part of you is somewhere else. This can also be the experience of living as someone who enjoys past and parallel lifetime living. So, for instance, many Capricorns have an Atlantean soul lineage, which means that we may be here in the earthly experience, in this 3D or dry lands experience, as I call it in my work. And we also may be in Atlantis or Atlantia, and living in a capacity as a light worker, a magician, a priest or priestess, an artist, a warrior, a teacher, a parent, a husband or wife, a grandparent, and a farmer, a botanist, someone who cares for animals. We may be doing that here and in Atlantia or even Lemuria simultaneously. And this is becoming part of my soul's journey now. So I'm going to share a little bit of it with you, tantric travelers, because I feel that some, many, or all of you may have this parallel soul capacity, which means that our consciousness is capable of pulling in wisdom, experience, and guidance from another part of ourselves, a holographic projection of ourselves in Atlantia or Atlantis, a twin soul, and likewise back here. So it's parallel, but it's also an intertwinement of consciousness. And it's not just between ourselves and ourselves here and in Atlantia. It can be between ourselves and all other consciousness here in Earth, because Atlantis is existing at a different frequency simultaneous with the one that I'm communicating through right now to you here on Earth. And that's a really wonderful thing to consider, and I hope that I can share more of my work and my channeling and the wisdom that is being transmitted to me now from my family and my friends and myself in Atlantis soon. I'm writing about it right now. So Capricorn does have that capacity, and being the 10th house, it is followed by Aquarius and Pisces in the zodiac, in the soul's progression of learning. So the journey of Capricorn, as well as being able to stride or straddle, parallel frequencies, Capricorn is often very spotlighted as extremes of frequency within ourselves. And that is because we have journeyed through a cycle, through many cycles, maybe even 10 up till now, where our karmic experiences, the experiences that our soul wished to play in, the experiences that our soul wished to learn in. So those experiences have been both very dark and very light, very lower vibrational, which is not bad. It's a slower vibration, which means that, the capacity of individuals in the lower vibration, it happens more slowly. Molecules are actually vibrating at a lower frequency, in a lower vibration. And that includes our thought molecules, our emotional resonance, our heart resonance, our physical selves. We're more confined to the rules of gravity in a lower vibration, as well as, as maybe it can be more easy or more difficult to unstick ourselves from the muck of material experiences in the lower vibration. And the lower vibration would be where, let's say, so-called demonic entities might wish to communicate with us and to play with us and to be our teachers and our students. Whereas in the higher vibrations, it would be the angelic frequencies. But all of these are interconnected, and they're all holographic or twinned light projections of one another. And Earth and our position here on Earth as human beings in the 3D to 4D is kind of in the middle of that. So we get to jump the fence and play on both sides, as well as integrating what we've learned here in the middle, in the median, in the in-between. And so Capricorns do really like to play in the shadows. I'm not going to fib to you on that. Many Capricorns have or will experience extremely trying, challenging, emotional, mental, soul, as well as physical experiences in the shadows of a lifetime or a lifeline on Earth. And we have the tools, we have the capacity, we have the wherewithal and the desire and the learning thus far to, to put our hooves on the rock and climb the mountain like the mountain goat does. We also have the capacity to dive into the ocean and forget about our earthly selves and dive into the cosmic ocean and experience the 5D frequency and higher that water is a channel for, that H2O is a channel for here and everywhere in the universe. So likewise, Capricorns, because we have these soul experiences, we encounter many people and many beings who wish to play with us holographically and wish to project their experience or their lack of onto us to see what we can teach them and what we can bounce back to them. And because of this, as a Capricorn, you may feel like you have more than your fair share of encounters with, demonic energy, and that is probably true. Capricorn definitely is a vibrational match for demonic energy and as well as angelic energy. So whereas Capricorn can be a channel for Venusian energy, very loving, very creative, very fertile, very earth caring, can be like this beautiful flowering rose rooted into our planetary parent. Capricorn can also be the worst of materialism, which is greed, exploitation of the earth, and a less feminine or a less balanced spiritual position, and maybe more of an imbalanced spiritual position, and that can be in our time expressed as patriarchal, sexist, or just abusive of gender in itself, and that includes both the masculine, the feminine, and everything in between. Because when we denigrate, deny, hurt, or attempt to destroy any aspect or any degree in the frequency of gender, it hurts, denies, and denigrates all frequencies, and it creates a lack and a vacuum within the masculine when it's incurred upon the feminine, and vice versa. So gender is a natural universal law. We are all subject to it, and we all express it, and we all have the opportunity to experiment with it. And when we really take responsibility for that, we become, you see the masculine and the feminine figure in the devil card in the tarot, who have chains placed loosely around their necks. And we become those two figures who have the opportunity to remove that bondage and remove that chain, that limitation, that twist on the truth that has been perpetrated upon human consciousness, which is that gender is one of two things, one of two ways. They're both binding and they're both kind of negative. So we need to take those. If we want to express the best aspect of Capricorn, which is seen in the double card, we have to look for the clues, which is that the chains that are placed around the two human beings, masculine and feminine, are loosely placed. And although the devil is an imposing figure in the tarot, we have to pay attention to the clues, the signposts, and the map that we're given in the tarot, and really look for our opportunities. And Capricorn is most definitely opportunistic in the material and the spiritual sense. And Capricorns are phenomenal alchemists of negative, dark, shadowy, confusing experiences. And we are able to take those experiences and find the gold in them. We are able to transmute negativity, darkness, destruction, pain, and sorrow into a new opportunity for a return to innocence. And I commend you for that, my dear, darling goaty mermaids. And I also offer you a lot of soul encouragement, and I really want to affirm that especially we who are born in the Capricorn solar house, we are often at this particular time of year presented with opportunities in which to polish and to assert our soul's learning. And that's a great thing. And if you can get through this Ten of Swords kind of feeling and make it through to the end of your soul's tasks, I think you're going to find this beautiful bundle of innocence awaiting you again. So that's a little bit about Shadow Capricorn, and I'm going to follow this video up with a pick a card reading for everyone. And I wish you the most beautiful, restful rest of the Capricorn season, my lovely karmic warriors. Ciao.